All right. Always a pleasure to be on this stage. Thank you, everybody, for making the time to come here. I am Ben Holmes. I am the founder and CEO of Nanochon. We're an early stage medical device company developing an implant for addressing what has been referred to as the holy grail of orthopedics, and that's cartilage repair in joints. I'm assuming that in a room like this, there's probably a lot of intimate knowledge about this problem. But for those that are uninitiated in sports medicine and orthopedics, the problem is that our bodies do not last as long as we are living, and that wear and tear, that degeneration starts in the soft tissues of the skeletal system, like the surface cartilage in our joints, and it is especially prevalent in the knee. The issue is that this cartilage damage starts to manifest. You essentially get these, what are referred to as focal cartilage defects or cartilage lesions that form over time, and they're basically potholes in the surface of the cartilage. The issue is that they start to become symptomatic once they're large, coherent, and relatively or completely thick, meaning bone is exposed. But the problem is once the defects reach that point and patients have pain and they seek diagnosis and treatment, it's too late to address this type of wear and tear with simple things like injections, physical therapy, or lifestyle changes. And so this has led to what people in the industry have been calling the cartilage gap. You have this large cohort of close to 1 million patients a year getting scoped in their knee. It's too late to do lifestyle changes or very minimally invasive things, but it's far too early to go to a total knee replacement. And that is why the industry, patients, and surgeons have been begging for a solution, and that's exactly what Nanochon has developed. So you can see here, that's our implant. It's essentially a coin or button sized device that comes in standard off the shelf sizes. It's designed to be implanted into these focal defects after they're reamed out in a simple surgical procedure. And the beauty of this device is that it is a platform for replacing the cartilage immediately. So it is a weight bearing implant at time zero, but it is also a platform for regeneration. It is actually a tissue engineered matrix, which is designed to regenerate and repopulate the area with cartilage as well as healthy subchondral bone. We achieve that with our novel material as well as a novel manufacturing design and approach. The material is a nylon-based nanocomposite, which actually mimics the aligned structure of collagen 2 fibers. So that does give the material cartilage-matched mechanical properties, and it's very durable. But it also acts as a substrate for stem cell attachment and growth. The other element of our device is 3D printing. So to be super clear up front, we are not doing 3D printing for patient-specific devices. As I mentioned up top, this is an off-the-shelf device in standard sizes. However, 3D printing allows us to make this very well-organized, very controlled, three-dimensional matrix out of this bioactive material without sacrificing those good mechanical properties. And this continues to be one of the challenges in the biomaterial side of the space. This is a very healthy and growing market. It's a $2 billion opportunity annually in the US every year. And that's based on a patient population of around close to 500,000 that we believe will be candidates for our first product. But there's a lot of opportunities to expand. The low hanging fruit would be addressing the same types of cartilage defects in other large joints like the ankle, shoulder, and hip. We think that's close to a $4 billion opportunity annually. And then in our portfolio and using our process, we actually have a lot of opportunities to both tailor the physical and mechanical properties of the material, potentially change the biological response as well, and then also dramatically scale the physical size and also the throughput of what we're producing. So I mean scale in two ways of the actual device we design. And so that could open up opportunities to address soft tissue injuries virtually throughout the body. A little bit more on the science side and how this works from a workflow perspective and from patient recovery perspective. So, as I mentioned, it's a simple reaming-based procedure similar to what surgeons are already doing for osteochondral allograft or some other types of implantables. Basically, they just go into the joint, they identify the defect, they have a drill bit, and they ream a clean hole through the defect all the way through the cartilage and about 1 to 2 millimeters into the subchondral bone. So that drilling removes all of the damaged or diseased tissue. It also induces bone bleeding, which is important for the long-term bioactive response. The implant is placed with an introducer, so it's a press-fit procedure. And then immediately upon implantation, the material and that 3D printed design work together to rapidly wick up that blood from the subchondral bone and carry primarily mesenchymal stromal cells into the device. So you see rapid blood wicking and clot formation within the device. And then one of the things we're very proud of, and what we've shown in a number of animal studies now, is that you actually get very, very rapid integration of the device with the new tissue. So in just 1 month, we see complete integration of the device and material, as well as a coherent tissue surface forming. I'm not aware of any technology that's able to do that. And then over a period of several more months, again, we do see the maturation of that incorporated tissue into hyaline cartilage, as well as subchondral bone. So obviously, this is a big problem. I mentioned this is considered the gold standards, or sorry, I mentioned that this is considered the holy grail of orthopedics. So of course, we are not the only people that are trying to address this, and we're not the only emerging technology that's trying to address this either. So incumbent solutions include purely surgical techniques that only offer a couple years of benefit, and then there's also a lot of clinical data that shows they actually accelerate the progression to full-blown osteoarthritis. Um, there are also things like tissue grafting as well as cell-based therapies. All of these solutions either suffer from a deficiency in real long-term durability, or they have extremely high costs, friction with payers, and complicated workflows that surgeons do not like doing. We've developed a simple, off-the-shelf synthetic device, easy to distribute, low COGS, comfortable price point, and a surgical procedure that virtually anybody can learn to do. I myself have actually done it a few times in cadaver labs. So we believe we've developed a best-in-class product that is going to blow the standard of care out of the water. Now, in terms of emerging solutions, there are others working on biomaterial-based approaches. There are many others that are trying to do the cell engineering thing. And then there are also, I would say the majority of our competitors are these companies that are trying to miniaturize and modernize the partial knee replacement. So basically making different types of durable polymer surfaces, different types of metals. And again, I think that in terms of other biomaterials, we have a solution that, because of its profile, its mechanical stability, and its bioactivity, can cover the wide spectrum of the cartilage gap, not be segregated to very early patients, very late patients, or very specific patients in between. We also have the opportunity to provide something which can not just replace those late stage treatments like biologics and grafting, but can actually supplant microfracture and debridement as a true standard of care frontline treatment. So again, it's the opportunity through what we achieve with the technology, the performance of the device, and the workflow, as well as the economic pain points we address, meaning we can capture the whole continuum. 4 animal studies to date. Most recently was a 12-month study in horses. This study repaired a 15 millimeter osteochondral defect. We saw extremely high quality hyaline cartilage growing into and infusing with the device. And then also, as I mentioned, we also saw subchondral bone restructuring and good subchondral bone health. One of the reasons why we chose the horse model is because they will progress to human-like osteoarthritis. No other animal model really does that for these defect repairs. So again, we were able to show that not only does this regrow cartilage, but it actually potentially stops or reverses any osteoarthritic progression. I also talked a lot about usability. So we put a lot of thought into developing this into the product that it is today. We have a surgical introducer system, which I mentioned, very easy to use, very intuitive, very reminiscent of what's being done for allograft. We also have a unique design of the implant. It's a press fit design, but it's not a simple cylinder of our material. It actually has this, what we're referring to as the bottle cap. And what we found is that this bottle cap structure, which again, we're able to enable with the 3D printed approach, getting different properties in the same part, same material, is that it gets double the pull-out force of an osteochondral allograft, but you only go 1 to 2 millimeters into the bone. And something like a graft or even other devices have to go a centimeter or more in the bone to get half the mechanical stability that we achieve. I've been leading the company since 2016. I've gone through MedTech Innovator, a number of other accelerators and incubators. I've also raised 14 million for the company to date. My co-founder, Dr. Castro, is also a highly decorated researcher in the space. We have a really strong management team as well, close to 200 years of medical device experience, 5 exits, everywhere from strategy, commercialization, clinical implementation. Very strong team. We also have a great board of directors as well as great investors, which are currently supporting us. And finally, where we're at today, we just initiated our first in-human clinical trial. This is 15 patients in clinical sites in Canada as well as Panama, anticipating the first case in the next 2 to 4 weeks. We plan to launch a global pivotal trial next year, and we're looking at FDA approval and U.S. commercial launch in 2030. So again, I'm Ben Holmes. We're Nanochon. Thank you very much.